What's up, guys? I'm back. Today it's time to talk about Renee Good, the ICE shooting, all the facts, circumstances, and everything that has transpired afterwards. I've waited to make a video on this because every day it seems that new evidence comes out, and so now that I feel like we have like a really good set of evidence that shows the whole fact situation, that I want to talk about it. So first, we'll start from the beginning because every story has the first headline. First headline was Renee Good shot by ICE officer, right? So I mean, it sounds really bad, but you think about it, right? Like, oh, this person's clearly an American citizen. They must have been doing something. They had to have been doing something wrong, otherwise the accusation was unjustified. But then you realize it's a little bit more beneath the surface. It wasn't just straight up it wasn't quite a straight up just shooting for no reason and a murder, right? There's a bit more to the story. And so let's start out with the start of what Renee was doing there. So the first headline was, oh, she was just taking her kid to daycare. Like, she was just driving along and all of a sudden she got shot. No, not quite what happened. Well, first thing that happened was she had her car horizontally in the road, blocking normal traffic, and honking her horn, dancing the honk of her horn for minutes on end. People in the neighborhood were recording it because they were so bothered by it. Oh my gosh, crazy lady just honking incessantly. So anyway, she's doing that. And then so an ICE officer comes up and he's like, hey, and he's kind of looking around the car. He sees the license plate and Renee's wife or friend was was recording and being having some be oh, why don't you get some lunch, big boy? Our plate doesn't change later, you know. And so eventually that officer gets annoyed. He's like, okay, get out of the car. Now these people don't think that ICE is actual law enforcement, and so by the time ICE is in front of the car, the wife hops in and is like, drive, baby, drive. And Renee looks at the ICE officer, accelerates towards him, hits him, and the ICE officer fires 3 shots, hits Renee in the head, and she dies. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff. A little bit of backstory to this. The same ICE agent was, a few months ago, dragged by an illegal immigrant 100 yards in a car, screaming for help. He had to get 33 stitches on his arm. So for those saying this was unnecessary use of force, this was murder, you gotta understand, when you see a car coming towards you after something traumatic like that has happened to you, your first instinct is not necessarily, oh, just let it happen, let myself get hit. No, the first instinct is defend myself, right? And so a lot of people on the side of the ICE agent are going to say this was self-defense, and I believe it. I think it was justified use of force because the lady was using her car as an assault weapon. And what Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry did said, ICE, get the F out of our city. The agent had minor injuries. It was basically if he opened his refrigerator with his hips. And comes out today, one, the video showed he was rammed and it did hit his hip, and 2, he had internal bleeding after. Now, how do you suppose a person gets internal bleeding if they're not hit by anything? Because another argument people were bringing up was, oh, she was trying to get away. She was just driving away. Well, first of all, evading law enforcement is still a felony, and 2, she was not. Because the video from the body cam of the ICE agent showed him falling over from the impact of the car and the internal bleeding on his torso later when he went to the hospital. And so that kind of just throws out every argument there. And the ICE agents are probably just annoyed by this because they're trying to get actual legal alien criminals. Every week they release a new worst of the worst list. People who have raped others, have murdered others, have committed serious crimes in our country that people aren't supposed to be here. Illegal immigrants. And now they got people from these ICE watch groups funded by prominent left-wing donors who are coming in, impeding federal law enforcement, being taught how to stop federal law enforcement from doing its job, and being told that, in fact, ISIS is made up. They actually aren't federal law enforcement. They can't arrest you. They can't do anything to you. And so they go up and they bother them. They harass them. They try to impede them from doing their jobs. And it gets pretty dangerous at some points. And so in the aftermath of Renee's death, people have kind of like rallied around her. Used her as like a symbol of like, oh, ICE is awful. Like, I can't believe it. Murderers. People have gone as far to say they're like the Gestapo soldiers in Nazi army. Not surprised. They've been comparing Trump administration people to Nazis for a long time. And so you have all these anti-ICE protests now popping up all over the country. Minnesota and Oregon and all these other places. And it's really just, it's almost kind of ridiculous because it's the same crowd of people. The people like when you get a reporter to ask like, hey, why are you here? Well, I don't know. But this time you could just feel more rage behind it. Because it's not just protesting. It's going to places where ICE is and then hounding them, harassing them, and doing everything in their power to stop ICE from doing their jobs. Once again, ICE is actual federal law enforcement. They're not just some fake made-up thing that just existed during Trump. They also existed during Biden. They existed in every administration that I can think of. Like, this is not something new. Immigration enforcement is not new. Maybe it's new to these people because they lived under Biden for 4 years, so the border was open and people just flooded in constantly. Almost 20 million people. But now we come to Trump, who's like, okay, hey, these criminals haven't brought anything positive to this country. They're killing people, like Lake and Riley. They're raping people. They're bringing they're coming to the country. They're not assimilating. They're bringing their cultures that are not compatible with American culture, and they're bringing it here. Like, why should we let them in? They're not supposed to be here in the first place. America can't be like the world's home. I can't just go to India and decide like, oh, I'm going to live there now. No, I'm going to get kicked out. So why should America have different rules? So yeah, it does come back to a broader conversation about illegal immigration and the role of law enforcement and just the craziness of left-wing protests. We got Tim Walz out here, who literally, his career was ended, essentially, by Nick Shirley for exposing the billions of dollars in Somali fraud from the daycares. And he's out on his podium saying, we have right-wing conspiracy theorist YouTubers saying, no. He went to the source. He did the reporting. He did what any normal journalist should do, but something journalists refuse to cover in the mainstream for years. This has been going on for years. And so his career basically ended. Now he goes on to attack ICE, all this stuff, go to Renee Good's memorial, all that. And I'm just saying, like, if you care so much about people getting killed, why don't you do the same for people killed by illegal immigrants? There have been at least 3 deaths. There have been at least 3 people killed by illegal immigrants in Minnesota that we know of. So why aren't you holding memorials for them? Why aren't you, like, talking about them? Instead, you hear this one story of someone who was clearly committing a felony, impeding law enforcement, almost like trying to hurt law enforcement. The officer reacts out of instinct, and now we're supposed to be outraged about it? Like, I don't understand it. So that's really my take on this situation. Definitely let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you disagree, I'm happy to hop in there and just share a bit of my perspective and a bit more of why I think this. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Renee Good situation. Have a nice day, y'all. Peace.